never heard the crashing waves upon a sandy beach, but things are all about to change. Just see the people gathered round. Tonight you receive the gift of sound. We bring music to your ears.
Hello, I'm Rosalind Nieves.
And I'm Helene Vecchione.
Welcome to Queen's Perspectives. Today we're going to bring you to the Chateau Briand for the Sounds of the Night Gala event.
This event raises funds to benefit the Olive Osmond Hearing Fund.
This is the first time I heard about this organization, and they provide a needed service to the community.
They raise funds for families in need of help that can't afford hearing aids and services for their children.
I was so impressed. The Osmonds even took time out of their busy schedule to spend time with the families in need right before the gala event.
Justin's dad was so impressed with the work that his son is doing all over the world. Take a look at the meet and greet with Merrill Osmond.
Merrill, we were all talking, and we were talking about insurance. It's crazy that hearing aids aren't covered by insurance.
You know, that's the big story. I mean, you can get your eyeglasses paid for by insurance, but when it comes down to your ears, nobody takes care of that kind of a thing. And so to be able to put together the effort and raise the money, it's worth every bit of effort you can imagine. This whole thing was created years and years ago by our mom. She had that vision, that dream of, because our two older brothers are both deaf as well, about raising awareness and raising money for hearing aids. And to see this thing start to grow the way it's growing here in this state makes me very, very happy. I love it.
And what do you feel when you see a child put on a hearing aid that was donated by the foundation in their eyes?
I'm an emotional guy. Those of you that know Merrill Osmond, I get emotional because it's you know, we've performed for the Queen of England and worked with Elvis Presley and all this stuff, but there's nothing like what you just said. When you see the effects of raising a little bit of money for someone who cannot hear, a bird fly or even a toilet flush. I mean, what I'm saying is, it's so cool. It's so awesome to see that happen. So the efforts are exciting and wonderful.
Thank you. Donna, what do you think about this foundation?
It's a wonderful foundation, and it's so appreciative just to know that this support. I wasn't even aware that it wasn't covered, that hearing aids weren't covered by insurance. That's awful to hear. But these foundations give kids a hope and adults hope.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful.
Well,
thank
you for your efforts. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
So Joseph, you're being honored tonight. How did you get involved with the foundation?
Kyle was one of my friends in school, and he's deaf. And his mom, Debbie, when they started this fundraiser, invited me and my band, Third Rail, to come and play. This is our 4th year at the event, and I just love supporting it. I love to see all the people it affects, especially people who are close to my own age, because I couldn't imagine a world without sound and a world without music. And I think that's exactly what the organization's theme song, Music to Your Ears, talks about. So I love it.
I love the foundation. I think it's a great thing. Music has been a very big part of my life. I was a big Osmond Brother fan growing up. And to just think of somebody not being able to listen to music or hear any kind of notes, it's sad. So a foundation like this, helping people to hear music and to enjoy it, it's a wonderful thing. And I thank you.
Now, the foundation also provides instruments to schools.
That's right, it does. And when they start playing a violin, you know, my son, who is deaf, 90% lost, they said he'd never be able to play a musical instrument because of his deafness. But he has learned to be able to use the vibrational tone of the jawbone to be able to hear, as he plays almost in perfect pitch today, because of the way the hearing aid and the way the whole body is constructed. So, yeah, and then to see the kids come along like they're coming along, it's great.
Hello, I'm Kyle Mayfort. Thank you all for coming. In 2013, I was the recipient of hearing aids from the Olive Osmond Hearing Fund. I attended the fundraiser that raised the money for my hearing aids. That's when I first met Justin Osmond. Since then, we developed a friendship that means a lot to me. Justin is someone I look up to and admire. I would like to introduce my big brother, Justin Osmond.
Hey Kyle, thank you. He is like a little brother to me, and we have been through a lot together. And really, because of Kyle and his wonderful family, we're all here tonight.
We would not be here tonight and he helped make this happen. If people like you that make people like me, like people like you. I really like people like you. You guys are just wonderful. You guys are hearts of gold. And you remind me of the quote from Helen Keller, who was blind and deaf, and she said this: "The kindness is the language that the deaf people can hear and the blind people can see." And you and every one of you have demonstrated that kindness by coming here tonight and supporting a wonderful cause. So thank you. Appreciate that. Portion of our program is probably for me one of the highlights, and it's really the reason why we're here. And would you like to meet some of the kids that you are helping here tonight? With all the proceeds coming, it's going towards helping them. And they have not only already received their hearing aid, but we're hoping to raise more money so we can help even more. Right, Debbie? I think our goal tonight is to try to raise enough to help 7 deaf families. Our first recipient, let's give him a very big warm welcome to the stage. Emily Alenko. Emily, where are you? Come on up here. Hi, Emily. Turn around. All right, Emily, how old are you?
6.5.
She's 6.5 years old, and she received her brand new hearing aid this past August, right? Are you happy?
Yes.
All these people here help you get some new hearing aid. You want to say thank you?
Thank you for my family.
Thank you, everybody. But Emily, she loves to dance and she loves to play with dolls. But now that she can hear, she'll be able to hear the music and be able to dance. So thank you so much for helping me that happen.
I think there's actually a mistake here. I was told we were coming to a daddy-daughter dance by my wife. Yeah, it was a real shock when we found out that Emily had some loss of hearing. She was a preemie baby, and we came to visit her one day in the hospital, and there was just something slapped up on her station that said, "Failed. Hearing test. Failed." No explanation. You don't know this story, huh? No explanation, nothing. Nobody talked to us at all. It's like, it's so nice to see people who are just warm about, people who are in need, of help for their hearing. Because my first contact with medical people relative to the hearing was just failed. No explanation, nothing. And it turned out Emily also had some kidney issues as well. And she's been dealing with them great though, and she's 6 years old now. We spent a lot of money on the kidney issues and stuff, and it was serendipitous because Emily likes to dance. So she's been in dance competitions since she was 3 years old. She's a little bit of a ham. And one day her hearing teacher, who was her dancing instructor, sitting right over there, Lynn, overheard her mama scolding her a bit because you know how kids are, the battery's done with this hearing aid. That over there, we're not going to need that again, right? And mom was scolding her about how she was treating her hearing aids. And at that point, like only one was working, and it wasn't working so great. We needed another set. And I mean, I'm not going to tell you we're poor. We're middle class, like a lot of people. But it was a big bill. What we were looking at, the $4,000 or $5,000 for hearing aids. But Lynn brought it to her attention of her mom, Debbie, and the rest is history. We got these beautiful pink pink hearing aids. And Emily has done wonderfully since she got these new hearing aids. She didn't say any words until she was 3. And now she's 6, but now, like when I'm seeing the tests that come home and stuff, she's reading, she's hearing the sounds, you know, for what they are. And she's starting to slap some 80s and 90s up there on the board, you know? And we're all very happy about that, and we're very grateful to the fund, and thank you very much.
Emily, everybody! Woo! Our next recipient, his name is Nicholas Corona. Nicholas, come on up here. Isn't this guy looks like one of the Jonas brothers? They're better looking, I think. Nick is just 18 years old, and he's going to be a senior in high school, graduating in June. So he has a big, he has a very positive outlook in life. He's a hard worker, and just getting to know the kid, he has a lot of potential. You know, we may have a hearing limitation. He may have a hearing loss, but his hearing loss did not have him. You know, he is in control of his life. I think he can become the next mayor of New York. This guy has so much potential. We're so great to have him. You just received your hearing aid May of last year, right? And you're loving it?
Loving it. It's truly a blessing to have these hearing aids and be able to hear all these things that I've never been able to hear before. And I don't know, there's really not much to say other than I'm really thankful for it, you know?
Thank you, Nick. He's a great guy. Okay, this next one, she's going to be turning 13 next week, and she just received her hearing aid not too long ago. And, oh, I'm sorry. She was, 4 years ago, she received hearing aids from our very first gala that we did, for those of you who were here. And she has received help from us every single year, and just not too long ago, she got a brand new, upgraded hearing aid. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Laura Destefan. Laura, come on up. This is Laura, everybody. Many of you, I'm sure, know Laura from over the last 4 years. Good to have you back. You doing well? How do you like your new hearing aid?
Good. Yeah.
Great. Anybody, thank you so much for helping these kids here and giving them the gift of hearing. You know, I always say, we build our income by what we get, but we build our lives by what we give. And what you have given these kids is so much of value and worth that money in this world cannot buy. So thank you everybody here in this room for helping make these kids' lives so much better. So.
Never heard the crashing waves on the sandy beach.
an amazing performance by Sam Tesh singing Music to Your Ears, written by Nathan Osmond with Justin Osmond and Kyle Mayford signing the song, along with the Floral Park Tight-Nets cheerleading squad.
I agree, Helene. What a beautiful, beautiful performance they put on for everybody. I'm glad to be a part of that moment with everyone in the room today. Let's see some more performances.
Floral Park is a fantastic community. It's a community of families. You know, we talk about Floral Park being a community of families, but a family in and of itself. And the Olive Osmond Foundation and Fund helps all of our people here in our community. It works so hard to get people who have hearing disabilities and help people. You know, I'm standing here with Kyle. Kyle's a wonderful guy. I have known this man from the time he was born. We have had a great relationship. I'm proud and honored to be friends with him and his family. And you know what? It's indicative of what Floral Park is all about. You know, everybody comes together in our community when people need help. And the Olive Osmond Foundation is just one more thing that brings our community together. And we are so happy to be part of that and be part of what goes on. And again, you know, with Kyle as the lead, we just enjoy being together. And this is what it's all about, taking care of families and taking care of each other. So.
As of today, from the fundraisers that we have here in New York, we have raised enough funds to give 517 children hearing aids. And that never would have happened without all of the support of all of you coming to these events that we have. So thank you all very much for that. We've also been lobbying a lot up in Albany. What many people don't know is that New York State is not mandating their insurance companies to cover the cost of hearing aids. A pair of hearing aids can cost up to $8,000. Many people cannot afford hearing aids. Many children go to school every day without hearing what they're learning. These kids are at a bad disadvantage because they cannot receive the hearing aids that they need because of the money factor. So we have been working, and I've been working with the Lions Lend an Ear Foundation, and Helen Farley and James Conklin are here tonight from the foundation with me. And what we are doing is we are working with the New York State Assembly and the New York State Senate to get a bill passed to mandate New York State insurance companies to cover the cost of hearing aids for both children and adults. The bill has already been written, and it's now at the Assembly level, and we're hoping within the next year that the Assembly will vote on that bill and move it up to the Senate level to get it passed so that we can have insurance coverage for something so simple as a hearing aid. It requires no surgery. It requires no doctor's visits on a regular basis. It's just a hearing aid that gets placed into the ear to give these kids the gift of sound. And so many people are going without it because of the cost factor. So that's what we're working on doing, and we're hoping that we'll get that done sooner rather than later.
Maybe you'll find there's only one love, yours and mine. I got so much love and needing you so. My love for you, I'll never let go. I got so much love. All I want is to hold you. Let me show how much I love you, baby. And I don't mind, girl, I love you. Always thinking of you. You are the sun, you are the rain that makes my life this foolish game. You need to know I love you so, and I do it all again. Whoa, 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 whoa. How you guys feeling tonight? Tell me it's true. Hey, I can't believe you do what you do. I got so much love, and in my love you'll see we'll just stay together, you and me, baby. I got so much love. Oh, and I do it all again and again. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
I'd like to introduce our first honoree of the night, Joseph Leone. He has been part of our yearly gala since the first one began in 2015. Since the Osmond family is a musical family, we decided pretty quickly that our event was main focus going to be giving the gift of hearing through music to children. Joseph really quickly jumped into being more than just a performer. He spent countless hours helping to ensure the success of our events each year. Not only was he focused on Third Rail's performances, but he takes the time to ensure the performers have what they need with the equipment, lighting, audio, and anything else we ask for. Thanks to that, each year, every performance contributed to the magnificent show. The time he has put in and passion with which he performs has not gone unnoticed. It takes a special person to have a desire to help others, and we are grateful that he has chosen the Olive Osmond Hearing Fund to benefit his dedication to others. I proudly give this award to Joseph Leone.
I first met Charles Jarman back in 2014. Once our family decided that we wanted to hold a fundraiser to benefit the Olive Osmond Hearing Fund, we knew we had to find a way for recipients of our efforts to have a hearing center to work with in our area. We reached out to the Northwell Health Hearing and Speech Center. From our first meeting almost 5 years ago, Charles has supported the Olive Osmond Hearing Fund in every way he could to help children receive the gift of hearing. Through providing services, securing sponsors, and getting hearing aids donated, his help and support have enabled Olive Osmond Hearing Fund to give 517 children the precious gift of hearing in New York. It has been obvious through his actions that he is not doing this because it's his job. His dedication comes from his heart. It takes a special person to have the desire to help others, and we are grateful that he has chosen the Olive Osmond Hearing Fund to benefit from his dedication. I proudly give this award to Charles Jarman.
So good evening, and thank you so much for your kind words, Debbie. And I'm so very honored and humbled to be here this evening. On behalf of Northwell Health System, our Chief Executive Officer, Michael Dowling, and our Chair of ENT and Hearing and Speech Services, Dr. Andrew Van Butis, I want to congratulate Debbie and Justin for hosting such a spectacular event. For the past several years, I've witnessed Debbie and Justin's tireless efforts evolve into such a fantastic philanthropic effort. Their time and dedication has changed the lives of so many children. At Northwell Health, we continue to be committed to partnering with the Olive Osmond Fund as we strive to be the local, regional, and national leader in research, diagnosis, and treatment of hearing loss and complex diseases of the ear. I'd like to thank my team, some of whom are here this evening, Dr. Linda Glazer, Kate Rowley, my HR business partner back there, for all the work that they do to provide the important clinical services to all of our patients. Additionally, I'd like to thank my family, my daughter Neela, my wife Lotta, and my mother Barbara, all here this evening, as well as my good friends and very generous donors, Robert and Gina Pollicino. And most of all, I'd like to thank you all for your generosity and for being here tonight. Thank you.
We have a lot of talent in this house tonight, folks. We have a lot. I just wanted to show you something up on the screen here. These are just some of the kids that you've been able to help. Like Debbie said, we've helped over 517 children. Many of them were out there in Mexico, so thank you. That's a lot of kids we've been able to help, so hopefully we can help a lot more, right? So thank you. There's a very special person here in this house tonight that I need to publicly recognize and also embarrass. She does not like to be in the public eye, even though she's been in the public eye her whole life. She is my hero. I love this person with all my heart. If it wasn't for this person, I wouldn't be here tonight. It's my sweet mother. Would you like to meet my mom?
Good.
There's a beautiful quote by Abraham Lincoln. He said this: "Everything I am and everything I become, I owe to my angel mother." He put me through 13 years of speech therapy, listening therapy, comprehension therapy. And when so many people told me that because my ears were broken, and so many people told me that I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that, it was my mom that told me that I can. And so thank you, Mom. I love you, Mom. This is another one of not my heroes, but my heroes. And this is my dad. I love him so much. We're so honored to have my dad here tonight. And so thank you for making this way. I know you're jet lagged, but you're going to bring down the house tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Merrill Osmond! Thank you guys for helping us have a better quality of life. We love you. Thank you so much. Hopefully we'll see you again next year, okay? Thanks again. Love you guys.
That was absolutely awesome.
I learned a lot about this organization. It's wonderful to see people having a great time, how everyone wants to come together to help each other.
Check out Neela, junior reporter, interviewing her dad.
Are hearing aids covered by insurance?
So again, as I said before, that's one of the biggest areas that we're working on today as a healthcare industry, where hearing aids are not necessarily covered by insurance. And that's been a significant debate and a passion of many healthcare services to really work with the insurers to make hearing aids a covered benefit. And there's been legislation on the floor, both local, state, and federal governments to push mandated hearing aid coverage, but we've not reached 100% yet.
Debbie was reading Marie Osmond's book, and in her book there was a blurb about the Olive Osmond Hearing Fund and what they do. So she contacted the organization, and the organization, Justin, contacted us to get Kyle a hearing aid, and that happened in 2013. And so Kyle was one of the recipients of this. Ever since then, she's been raising money for the deaf and hard of hearing to get hearing aids because it is not covered under insurance, and it's very costly.
Now, Debbie, your son Kyle is deaf. How old was he when you discovered that he was deaf?
He was actually born deaf because of a lot of health issues that he had during birth, but it wasn't properly diagnosed until he was 4.5. But from the time he was born until he was 4.5, I kept telling doctors, I think there's a problem with his hearing. And they all assured me there was no problem. He had even gone for some hearing tests, and they came back in the normal range on the low side. But never was he actually diagnosed as being deaf.
So at what age did he start to speak?
He was delayed with everything. He had speech therapy and didn't start talking until he was well over 3, maybe 3.5.
Now, what did the doctors say at that point?
He had a speech therapist, and the speech therapist said to me, do me one favor, just please go see this ENT that I'm recommending. And I said, okay, I'll go. So we went, and within 15 minutes he said, your son is moderate to moderately severe hearing impaired.
So at what age did he get his first hearing aid?
Very shortly after that. His first hearing aid he got when he was about 4.5. So it was very shortly after that appointment that we got the first pair of hearing aids. New York State does not mandate any coverage of hearing aids for children or for adults. So his hearing aids were never covered by insurance. But at the time we were very lucky because our pediatrician knew of this trial program with a company called Widex, which is now a very big hearing aid manufacturer, and they were just starting to advertise digital hearing aids, and they were looking for a poster child that they could test these hearing aids on and then use that in Washington as, I guess, proof showing what the difference between analog hearing aids and digital hearing aids. So they monitored Kyle for a few years on these hearing aids and used him as the poster, the face to a medical record in Washington. So he got that first pair of hearing aids when he was 4.5. And typical lifespan of hearing aids is about 5 years. Kyle had his for almost 8 years because we couldn't afford another pair of hearing aids for him, and his hearing aids that he had were always fixable. Then they got to a point where they were no longer fixable and they were far behind technology. So I started looking around for ways to get funding or grants, something to help us pay for these hearing aids. And at the time, totally coincidentally, I was reading a book by Marie Osmond, and in the book she talked about her 2 older brothers who were deaf, Tom and Merrill, and about the foundation that her nephew, Merrill Osmond's son, started. So I Googled the Olive Osmond Hearing Fund, and I called them, and they sent me an application, and within a very short time, Kyle had a brand new pair of hearing aids, top of the line hearing aids, completely paid for by the foundation. The first day that he got the hearing aids, we were leaving the hearing center, and I was standing behind him talking to my father who was with us, and I said something to my father, and Kyle turned around and said something in relation to what I said, and I said to him, you heard me? He was never able to hear behind him. His old hearing aids just took the sound from in front. He never heard anything behind him. So that right there, he was able to start hearing things behind him. And the technology on those hearing aids at the time, he was able to hear the elevators opening and closing, like little things that we take for granted that, who would give any thought to? He never heard. A year after we received those hearing aids, we were contacted by Jill, who I believe you just met a little while ago, and she invited us to attend the yearly fundraiser that they had that raised money for Kyle's hearing aids. So we went, and Kyle had said, you know, we should raise some money to donate to them that night because it was a fundraiser we were going to. So he set a goal for himself of $250, and he ended up, in 2 weeks, he raised $1,015.
Awesome.
So he presented it to Justin and Christy Osmond that night at the event.
He was born with a moderate loss of hearing. But we didn't detect the hearing loss until maybe 3rd grade or so, when he was having problems in class. So that's when they requested that we get hearing aids for him. And then as he grew older, the equipment wasn't all that great. Doctor's office, and he showed us some nice modern hearing aids, costly. We had to get on a payment plan for them. When we were fortunate enough to hear about the program, and he loves them.
Yeah, these hearing aids really put a whole new perspective on so many different things in my life. I felt so much more confident with it because you can't really see it, and I felt that it was easier to make friends and I could participate in many other things in school. I was captain of the track team last season in winter. I was never able to do these things before. All my life I've been in hospitals, in and out. And it's been my passion to help other people, especially little children, because I was one of them. It would be a dream for me to do the same for other children, to help them out, so they don't feel alone and scared as I was.
When Emily was born, the doctor noticed that she had little pits above her ears, little holes. And that indicated there might be a problem with both her hearing and her kidneys, because as it turns out, your hearing and your ears develop in the womb at the same time as your kidneys. And as it turned out, Emmy did have one kidney only, and that kidney is dysplastic. We've spent a lot of money on drugs and treatments and everything else as far as her hearing and as far as her kidney is concerned. It was a serendipitous moment how we got involved with the Olive Osmond Fund. And they've been so kind to provide us with the funds to get new hearing aids for Emily. She's been doing better in school. She hears better. Her reading comprehension. I would say she was definitely behind. She didn't say her first words till she was 3, something that probably commonly happens with people, with hearing deficiencies. But she has caught up a whole lot, and was so proud of her. And she's a beauty, of course. I think you could see that. That much was always clear.
She always wanted to sing, but she could never catch on to the words. So she would make up words and even jingle bells she could never catch on. Since she has received these hearing aids, she's listening to the radio, she's listening to favorite songs, she's listening to those Disney TV shows like Zombies, and she's singing along to the words. And it makes us so happy, because before it was just nonsense, and now she's actually singing.
I can hear.
Like she can hear.
We can't do much alone, but together we can do so much more. And I'm just humbled and so grateful for wonderful people like Kyle. And you asked me the question, how did it get started? This guy right here. About 4 or 5 years ago, we did a little event out in New Jersey, and we were able to help Kyle with some brand new hearing aids. And this guy he's my hero. Not my hero, but my hero. And he is a wonderful example of paying it forward. And to date, we have now helped over, I think, 17 local families here, and also over 500 deaf kids in Mexico from all the funds raised right here. And it's our 4th annual gala. Yeah. So Kyle's my hero. I love this guy and the whole Mayford family. So in honor of my grandmother, Olive Osmond. Bringing music to your ears. That's kind of our slogan, kind of our motto. And, it's not just to help provide the gift of hearing, but also to bring up their self-confidence, their self-worth. We can do that by providing the gift of hearing, but also providing good motivation, encouragement, that they can do hard things. I was the only one in the whole second generation of the Osmond family that was born with a significant hearing loss. And so in honor of my grandmother, I wanted to pay tribute to her. And we partnered with wonderful people like Kyle, wonderful supporters and sponsors and donors. If you would like to be a part of this, we'd love to have you. You can go to hearingfund.org. And also, if you have hearing aids, you don't know what to do with them, we can donate them, and we can salvage them and recondition them so we can use them again to help other people. There's lots of different ways on how you can participate and be a part of the Olive Osmond Hearing Fund. I just want to publicly say thank you, Rosalind, and for all of you guys for being a wonderful supporter and sponsor for this great cause. Thank you. God bless you. Every one of you guys, thank you for providing the gift of hearing to so many people out there. Thank you.
We thank you for your service.
All right. Love you guys.
Hi, well, this is my daughter Laura. She's 13, and when she was born, she failed her screening. Finally, they said she needs hearing aids. Of course, they're $6,000. We scrimped, we saved, we got the hearing aids. They did amazing. I mean, the difference was incredible. And then a few years ago, we got a new pair because the other pair weren't working, thanks to the Olive Osmond Foundation.
Having hearing aids is awesome. The color I chose was green with sparkles on it. And my favorite, and green isn't the color I would usually use, but I wanted to try and I really like it.
I grew up in the hearing loss world. I had a hearing aid. A lot of people procrastinate because they don't have the money for a hearing aid. It takes about 7 years for people to realize they actually have a hearing loss. And then by the time they realize they have a hearing loss, they don't have the money for a hearing aid. So it's very important. They cost thousands of dollars for one hearing aid. Hearing aids are more expensive as the years go on.
That's it for today's program. If you miss any part of the show, just visit qptv.org/Queen's Perspectives to view the entire show online.
If you would like to learn more about the Olive Osmond Hearing Fund, please visit them online at hearingfund.org.
I'm Rosalind Nieves.
And I'm Helene Vecchione.
We'll see you next time on Queen's Perspectives. Thank you for joining us.
America.